Welcome back. This month we're going to be talking about a book that's yet to be released called Warrior. I'm going to be doing some readings from it. Warrior is a book about many of the spiritual battles we take on and how we can kind of interpret them. I'm going to start with a poem called Fighting Me. Now these are poems, but they're really stories, not always rhyme to them, but they always tell a story. The first one I'm going to be reading is Fighting Me. Fighting me, depression, boredom, I stand useless, because I won't fight, my mind fallen asleep. I spend hours surfing the internet, watching TV, denying that I need to pray more, fighting the urge to pick up my Bible. Life is okay. What can God add that I don't have? Then a small flame ignites inside me. I remember that I am just getting by. I am not truly living. Why? Why did I let myself fall so far away? How could I not notice the gradual slipping away, not making time to pray? Now when I read this, I think it's so easy to get that way in all of our lives. You know, we get busy with work, with our family. It's easy to just look for a distraction in our lives. You know, to just turn on the TV and kind of zone out, or get on the internet and really do an information overload. And sometimes we forget to step back and do the simple things like praying and really trusting God, because we get so comfortable with our lives. You know, and we live in a society that we're constantly looking for that next thing to excite us, to inspire us, because there's always something going on, always something happening. The next poem I'm going to be reading is Bloodstained and Faithful. Bloodstained and faithful, he's covered in blood. His back is scourged, thorns digging into his head. Hair matted with blood, struggling, stumbling as he carries the cross. Spit upon, laughed at, insults hitting him with fury, but he remains. The hammer hits the nail, hands and feet nailed to a cross. He looks up, and despite his pain, he cries out to his Father and wins the war. This poem is about the spiritual battle between God and the devil, good and evil. In many ways, a lot of people would say, hey, evil won over that day. God's only son, he's dead. He died. But that's not the end of the story. According to the Bible, Jesus rose again 3 days later. His disciples went to his tomb, and he was not there. And he showed himself to many of his disciples and to two other women who came and sought his body to put the herbs and the things on it, the spices that would keep his body from smelling when it began to rot. So we know that in this, God won the war. He bridged the gap for us from down here up there to him by sacrificing Jesus and allowing him to take on all the pain, all the suffering of all of our sins, so that we can go to God and ask for forgiveness. The next poem I'm going to read is Prisoner of War. I clutch my stomach once again to stop the hunger pain. They took me as I was giving relief, and now they have beaten me. The blood has dried from my nose and my lips, but the taste lingers. I can't move my fingers. I don't know how long it's been or when. In this place I still find him. I hold on to him with all I have, knowing, trusting that he is near and quenches my fear until the end. Now when this poem was written, I thought about all the missionaries, all the people in countries other than the United States that are persecuted for their faith. There's been more than a few times, instances in the last few years, where Christians have been taken hostage by radical Muslims, tortured, killed, held hostage for extended periods of time. And I thought, okay, how can we express that? How can we express, how much they're really sacrificing and how much they've really got to trust God enough to give their lives? And that is what that poem was about. I'm just kind of scrolling through here on my computer trying to find the next poem I'm going to select here. Okay, the next poem is going to be In Your Mind. In your mind, you are in control. Everything you do has given you the results you have planned. Life has come together. You've worked hard, and now everything is in place. Prayers? Who needs them? You are exactly who and what you want to be. Those praying people are just weak. They need a crutch. If they only knew how it was to live successfully. I am my own God. I make my own way. How many of us can relate to thinking that way at some point? There are so many people out there successful that, their lives are really coming together exactly the way they want. And they don't see the purpose of praying or, going to church or trusting God because they have everything they want. But the thing that they don't realize is when their time on earth here is done, they'll be judged. And they will either go to heaven or they will go to hell. Despite on how good a life they had down here, God's judging them on a different set of standards. He's judging them to see if they have sinned. And easy way to go through and see if you've sinned is go through the 10 Commandments. That's in the Old Testament of the Bible. When Moses goes up to the mountain and God gives him these 10 Commandments on these stone tablets. And, obviously these are sin. So if we go through those each day and say, hey, did I do this, did I do that? There's so many ways that we can go wrong and not even realize it because we don't even think of it in those terms these days. Everybody's like, okay, this is the truth, or this is right, this is wrong, but it's not right or wrong for anybody, or not everybody. So, when we think about these things, we need to really take them seriously because there's a whole lot more than just being happy or just having enough or having the right job, having the right kids, having the right family. I'm going to try to wrap us up with one more poem. Falling down. Falling down. Raindrops leak through the roof where I sleep tonight. Stiffly, woodenly, my body cracks. It groans to life. Drop to the left of me. Drop on my right hand. What happened to me? I used to be somebody. I had a house, car, a family, but that seems a lifetime ago. Now I dig through the garbage. Today I slept in an old barn. Why am I still here, God? Do you hear me? Why don't I have anything? Why? Why? Can't you send someone to help me? Won't you help me? God knows what we're going through every step of every day, and we are never alone. God bless you, keep you, and I'll see you again next month.